Hi, everybody. So we wanted to do a fun kind of revealing little game where we're each part of the creation of this incredible X-Men Creating the Real Future class with Gary Douglas and Diva Diaz, and we're each gonna have a little like show and tell about one of our kind of capacities or weird things about us that might be on the kind of spectrum of autism or ADD or ADHD or OCD that we maybe didn't realize was kind of in there. So anyone want to go for the first one?
Yeah, I can. I never knew I had these, but these are like OCD-like tendencies where, like in the kitchen, I hate cooking and I hate cleaning, but that counter has to be spotless, and like it can have stuff all over it, but it can't have crumbs. That's one of my things. So I will literally have to clean the whole counter so that there's no crumbs, because the moment I feel any crumbs, but it can be, the rest can be messy. Or like in my closet, my hangers are all spaced this apart so that nothing actually will crinkle, because that's important. Then you have to iron again. So these are some of the things that apparently are not normal to everybody. But what I have noticed is that now all of these like OCD tendencies, like seeing something, written on a page and being like, oh my God, that looks awful. Or it's like, this font isn't the same as that font, or that's slanted and that's not. All of those things actually work to my advantage in what I do now. I actually use those capacities. They're not disabilities anymore, but they're actually capacities that I use to my advantage to create money and an awesome life. So how's it get better than that?
Anybody else have one? I can go then. So I find that that I kind of have to have a billion things going on in my life for me to create anything. There's like an extreme. So if I have only like even 5 things that I'm like working on and planning and creating, that's not enough for me. And I'll just like lay in bed and do nothing for days. Turn on the TV and just like play games and not complete anything. But if I have so much that it feels like no normal person could ever complete or accomplish any of this, I'll just go boom, 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 boom. And then at the end of the day, I'll still have tons of energy and be like, this was the best day ever. Yay, this is so fun. So I've learned too, just like to have more things on my plate. Because like, it creates much more in the world of the things that I'd like to see more of. And then also like, that's how I feel productive. Because like laying in bed, you think that'd be relaxing. It's like super not fun. It's
like
not as fun as like doing everything at once for me, which is my thing. That's probably not normal, but totally normal for me.
I love it.
All right, who else?
I love that. That's so fun. For me, it was as a child, I was told to sit in the corner and sit in my hands, because literally my foot would be going, my leg would be going, I would be sitting doing this and putting my leg up in all directions. I'd be scratching this bit of my head. I would be picking my nose. I would be sticking my finger in the ear. And I would be moving all the time. And it drove my parents nuts. And I think it drove my sister nuts as well. So literally I had to learn to sit like a good UK little girl with my hands under my bottom and sit on my hands so I wouldn't move. So for a long time I was like contained in this, and then my mom would open the back door of our house and say, there you go run around and be Scoopy the Bush Kangaroo, be Champion the Wonder Horse, or be whatever you want to be. And I would just run around mad and like go of all this energy for so long. Just so I could be me, and then come back in and then sit in my hands. So as an adult, I still move around all the time, and the more I'm around you guys, the more I seem to move, and I love it. The first access class I went to was a body class, and I stood at the back of the class doing this. Carlina was there, she'll know. I was doing this all the time, and for me it dissipates energy, and I need to do that to allow my body more ease. And what if it isn't wrong? What if that is a strength and a capacity to be me and allow my body more ease? So, who's next?
Awesome.
I have one.
For me, oh yeah, go Cassie.
Okay, so when I talk, I have a tendency to talk really fast, and I'll like maybe be talking about more than one topic at once. right? And then I get like this look like, what is she saying? And I'm like, right, okay. But what's really cool, so I kind of like learned to just like be quiet a lot and just where's my spot where I can, okay, just give one little bit of like this information. And I used to really like make that as a wrongness of me, and like, you know, no one can receive me, no one can hear me, no one gets what I'm talking about, no one can see what I can see. And the more I play with access, it's just like, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, exactly. Like, that's a cool capacity, because I can actually like be aware of many conversations and many possibilities and all this stuff. And I can be really, really fast. And with the tools, I'm learning how to play with people of totally different, like various speeds of life. So, yeah, that's it. That's mine.
Okay, so I will go. Because I was saying before we started, I was like, I don't have one. And this is probably the thing I don't have. But I always think I don't know something or don't have anything. And basically, until I actually had a session with Miss Diva Diaz, I always made myself wrong because I thought I didn't know stuff. Like, people would ask me, well, what do you think? And I'd be like, oh my God, I don't know. Like, they're literally talking to me. Don't talk to me. And I would want to don't ask me, don't talk to me. And I mean, I did it a lot. And one of the questions she asked me, which was something that we were talking about X-Men, is it that you don't know, or is it that you have so much information that you're aware of? It is just, that's what you've defined it as. And when she said that, I think I just didn't talk for 2 days, because I was like, oh my God, it's not that I don't know, it's actually the opposite of that. And that's one of the things that has been such a gift with X-Men, is that 9 times out of 10, if I'm making myself wrong about anything, and it can be something just silly, like I didn't want to go to a movie, right? Or something like that. It's usually that I was aware of something, and I just don't have the cognitive piece of it. I don't have the actual thought of it, or like the words of it. I just have the energy. So one of the things that I have now started to do is acknowledge that it isn't that I don't know. It's like, well, okay, what do I know, and how am I actually getting that information that I'm not acknowledging? And then I can just follow the energy and choose things, and things tend to work out a lot better. So that's been a huge gift. It's just a little huge gift. So that's my
Just a little huge gift.
Diva or Brett?
Brett?
All right, this is a funny, weird one, so I might as well. I'm just gonna out myself here. When I put my socks on in the morning, I ask my socks which foot they would like to go on, and they tell me.
It's true. I've
There
seen
we
it
go.
every
I'll
day.
literally like go to put one. I'm like, nope, the other one. Okay, good. Whew.
I thought I was wrong for not doing that.
Now I'm going to have to try that.
I just put them on and thought that was terrible. I'm glad you talked about this.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
So what did you find, like, what is the capacity in that?
Oh my gosh. Actually, being able to receive the information of like what things actually desire, that like everything has the capacity to speak, even if it's not in words. Like every molecule has information that it can give you if you're willing to ask for it and to receive it. And so that's how I create my whole life now. I mean, from before I knew that you could do that, like I had no idea, but now I ask everything, like what it would like, what it can be, what we can choose together for like everything, even our apartment, like the earth, the planet. And it's very peculiar, but the information does come, and you can use it to create things beyond anything you ever thought possible.
Okay.
I love it. I was unmuting myself. All right. I actually have no idea what to say.
That's hilarious, Diva.
Well, because it's really like just what you all have been saying. I would say also one of the things that I I've kind of been made fun of for, like, since I was tiny, is having like the wildest imagination that you can possibly imagine. Either being made fun of or people would laugh along. And half the time I was like, no, I'm not actually joking. Like, but this capacity, which now I know is a capacity, is sorry, I just got distracted. That's another one of the things. But this capacity to just like extrapolate with everything. So if you say the word pee, I have within a nanosecond gone into a million places in my head, which sometimes can be like, oh wait, what else did you say after that? But you know, and in business, it's actually been a huge gift because I'm able to look at a situation, kind of like have this aerial view, look at what's going on, and there'll be one little thing that just catches my eye that maybe somebody is overseen or we're not really giving any attention to, and I'm able to just come up with a million different ways that can be done different, or a million different ideas. Now, the reason that I thought I was so just like crazy in my head is because none of the ideas made sense in a logical way, and there certainly was no order or organization to the ideas. I couldn't say, all right, the idea is starting on Monday at 9 a.m. Like, I had no idea. It would just be like, you know, like vomit it out. And people would be like, okay, crazy lady, and then move on. When actually, what was going on was I was aware of this huge idea, but the gift in that X-Men have is that they don't function from this linear ordered universe. So for them, everything exists kind of like in simultaneity, which can seem like complete chaos. But it's actually an amazing capacity to be aware of so many different elements that sometimes people won't be aware of, so many different details and the bigger picture and all of it at once. And so now I've really, well, now, you know, since I started this amazing thing, Access, I've been able to actually really use that to my advantage to create, not just have these ideas that then just sit there for all eternity, but to actually institute them, to be able to explain them to people in a way that they can hear and they can receive, by actually giving them the words that they require, giving them the information that they require. So I would say that's my thing, a wild mind that I tried to rein in for so long. Or I would think like, oh God, there's so much going on in my head. I'll just say one thing, and then people wouldn't know what I was talking about. Or I would think that I'd said everything, but I just said most of it in my head, and like only 10% had come out of my mouth. Yep. Jenny's laughing because that I do that a lot in the business that we create together with Cara, the three of us. But so even just recognizing like, okay, like how much information do other people need? Like what, how much of this have I said in my head and not said out loud? And it sounds funny and it sounds silly. But I think like we can all say that we're kind of laughing and smiling and joking about all of this stuff now. But at a time, it was really difficult stuff to go through, and it was challenging. And you do have to be willing to be brave and courageous and be vulnerable enough to look at those things within yourself that you've decided are wrong, and then look at them and turn them completely on their head and ask, okay, so if this was a capacity, if I wasn't as messed up as I thought I was, what would be going on here? What would I be aware of? Like, what am I perceiving with this? What am I capable of? And then you just get happier because you can't judge yourself anymore with some.
That sounds divine. If not judging yourself ever again and hearing more of what Diva and also what Gary Douglas has to say about this incredible topic. We'd all love to invite you to the X-Men Creating the Real Future class, which is happening in April 13th through 15th, live in Houston, and then also streamed live around the world. So if you've got internet where you are, which you probably have since you're watching us right now, available to you. There is one prerequisite. It's called the Choice of Possibilities, which is an Access Consciousness class. And if you have any questions about the class, please feel free to be in touch with all of us. We're super excited and hope to see you there. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for sharing your secret.